Welcome to Craft Along. Today we are talking about water, the water of baptism, Jesus's baptism. And we have a fun craft to do together. I am excited about it. First, we're going to read out of the Bible. We're going to read our verse of the day. And today we're reading Luke 3:22. And it's talking about Jesus's baptism. It says, "And the Holy Spirit descended on him in bodily form, like a dove. And a voice came from heaven, 'You are my Son, whom I love. With you I am well pleased.'" All right, let's grab our things and get started. All right, today we are talking about Jesus being baptized, and we have a fun directed drawing to do. Now, Jesus was baptized by John the Baptist. He did that because that was what God wanted him to do. That was the plan by God the Father, was for Jesus to live his perfect life and to follow the instructions he was given. And today, you're going to be following instructions to draw this picture. So, you need your marker or crayon, but it should be dark, something dark to kind of draw the outline. You need your paper, a white crayon, and if you have it, watercolors. If you don't have watercolors, you can use crayon or marker or colored pencil to finish up the drawing. But we're going to start with our white paper and our dark marker or crayon. So we are going to do this along together. Now, most of the time when we do a craft along together, you kind of can take my suggestions and do what you want. But on this one, I need you to follow what I'm doing so that your picture turns out. So I want you to start by finding the center of your white paper. So right in the middle. And you're going to start by having your pen there, and you're going to draw a line up and a little bit at an angle. So it kind of looks a little bit like the start of a triangle there. So you're going to draw that line up. Now, you're going to move over from the top a little bit, and you're going to draw another diagonal line down, kind of like you're making a bit of a triangle there. So this is what you should have right now. Now we're going to use these two lines to kind of base our next line off of. So under your two lines, but kind of still in that area of these two lines, I want you to make an upside down V, like that. Upside down V. Are you wondering what the scene is going to look like yet? Well, just keep following along. Okay, so we have our V now. Now from that, I want you to go on the right hand part of that, and you're going to draw a line up and around, kind of like a rainbow, and down. Okay, so you should have a line like this. Now, if at any point you need to pause the video to watch what I'm doing, you absolutely can do that. And now from the other end of that upside down V we drew, we're going to make a little C shape. A little C shape. Can you see what it is we're drawing yet? All right, now back over to that right-hand side of the V, and we're going to draw a line down like that. It's a curved line back. Now this is the beginning of our drawing. All right, so now we have this shape, and we're going to connect the bottom here, the bottom of that C. And from the bottom of that C, we're going to draw a line over. Can you tell what this is yet? This is the beginning of Jesus's head. All right, so this is his face, and in it this is where his beard is. We're going to draw his nose. And then we'll draw eyes. So there we have Jesus. And if you want to draw a little smile in, you can. Now, we're going to finish up Jesus's body. But first, we're going to draw a line here because he was being baptized in the water. So we're going to draw a water line. There we go. We've got our line. And now we're just going to go ahead and take a line from here and from here. And it's okay if your lines aren't perfect. Just going to draw in some lines that'll be his shirt, be his tunic top there. So we have the start of our directed drawing. Now we're going to draw John over here. Now again, follow what I'm doing. We're going to start up a little bit above our Jesus, because John's going to be standing up over him. But we want to be inside of our angled line there. And we're going to draw a wavy line like that. And then we're going to go to the top of it and we're going to draw kind of a circle and more wavy. Now, John the Baptist lived in the wilderness and was sort of a rough man. So we're going to assume his hair is a little tangled like that. So this is his hair. And we're going to draw a little bit of a tangly beard. And we're going to have his face come like this. We're going to finish up his tangly long beard. You kind of have a backward C shape of ruffles. And now we're going to go back into John's face and add his nose and his eyes. And we could add a little bit of a smile there for him as well. Now from the bottom of his ruffly mane, his ruffly beard, we'll add his tunic, which the Bible tells us was made out of camel hair, which was rough and scratchy. So we're going to make some maybe little hash marks there to make it look rough and scratchy. All right, so we've got our two main people in this story. We have Jesus and we have John the Baptist. And we have our river. We're going to add to our river now just a little bit. We'll make a few little wavy lines to make it look a little more like water. But we need something else that we know was there when Jesus was baptized. And that's a crowd of people watching. So we're going to make the edge of the Jordan River here. I want you to start from about the lower left-hand corner, and you're going to come up and draw a wavy line about to the top of Jesus's head, just like that. Now, on the bank watching were people, and we're going to draw some people. We're going to draw them tiny, though, because they're in the background. They're distant. We don't want them as big as this. And we're going to make them very simple. So we're going to make some circles. Now, I'll make a few circles. You can make more circles or less. Now I'm going to make some a little bit bigger and some a little bit smaller. I'm going to make some children in this crowd watching Jesus being baptized. Now I have 5 little heads I've drawn, but this is the part of the directed drawing where you can make some choices on your own. You could have more people, you could have less, and I'm going to start with the people I feel like are in front, and those are the kids. I'm going to have the people in front, and I'm just going to draw a simple sort of triangle shape down from them, and maybe give them some little lines for arms. They're just watching Jesus in the distance here. And then the people that are bigger, maybe their parents or other onlookers, I'm going to draw them, but I'm going to make sure to draw them behind. So I'm not going to cover up my children here. I'm just going to draw those people behind. Those are our spectators. If you want to give them some hair or some head dressings, you can. If you want to give them a little bit of faces, you can. Or if you just want to leave them, that person's nose got a little in the way up there. Oh, up there. All right. So you can just draw them however you'd like. And then once you have your people drawn in, we'll draw the horizon line. We'll just draw that line in back. That's maybe the hills coming up along the edge of the bank. And to make this look a little bit more like the edge of the water, oh, and we'll draw the top of the water line here too. Draw that. That'll be a straight line across. And to make this look like the edge of the water more, we'll draw some waves along the edge of the water. Maybe add some wavy lines to show the water a little bit better through here as well. And then to make this look a little bit more like the edge of land, I'm going to add some little lines of grass and some dots of sand or dirt at the edge here. And maybe a few little rocks. A lot of times the edges of rivers or streams have some rocks on them. And so now we've got our picture. Down here we just need to fill in the sky. Now our Bible verse today is Luke 3:22, and it says, "And the Holy Spirit descended on him in bodily form like a dove, and a voice came from heaven, 'You are my Son, whom I love. With you I am well pleased.'" So we know we have the voice of God coming down, speaking to Jesus. So we're gonna make sure that this is an impressive sky here. And we also have the Holy Spirit descending like a dove, coming down from heaven like a dove. So I'm going to set my marker aside for a minute. I'm going to pick up my white crayon. In this space, in this triangle space, I am going to draw, which you're not going to be able to see, and I'm not going to be able to see, the shape of a dove. We'll see it later, but not yet. So I'm just drawing kind of a rainbow line, and then an oval, and then a rainbow line. I'm going to see if I can get it so you can see it a little bit. Oh, it's tough. But there's a little bit of a shiny spot made from my white crayon with an oval in the middle and two rainbow arches on either side. You could draw your dove a different way though. So that's our dove descending, and he'll show up better later. But now we're going to draw some lines, being the voice from heaven. But we don't want to draw over our dove. So we're going to just draw those lines up here. This is the voice of God coming down. And to make this sky a little more fancy, I'm going to draw just some kind of cloud lines off to the side here that, of course, don't interfere with our dove and the voice of God coming down. Okay, so here we have our directed drawing. How does yours look? I bet it looks awesome. I wish I could see it right now. Now for the final touch. If you have If you have watercolors, excellent. If you don't, go ahead and just use crayon. But we're going to paint now. So I'm going to get my brush wet and I'm going to get my paints wet. I'm going to start by just getting a few of them wet. I'm going to get my blue wet, my green wet. That way they'll have time for the color to kind of soak in. I'm going to use a little brown, and maybe I'll use some orange and some red and some yellow. I'm pretty much getting all the colors wet, aren't I? All right, so I'm going to start with these people off to the side, and I'm going to make them more colorful and bright. I'm going to use the brown before it gets too dark and paint in their faces. Then I'm going to go ahead and add some color to their robes. Now, this is all going to be blue. There's going to be a lot of blue, so I'm going to use some orange. I'm going to use some red. Maybe even this person will be purple back here. Oh, didn't let that one soak long enough. There's some purple. And I'll make this one a green, even though they're on the green grass. I think that'll be fun. All right, so I have some colors here. And now I'm going to color in this grassy area. I'm going to make it some green. And I'm not coloring it in every bit, just kind of touching it with some color. But if you want to color in every bit, you certainly can. So now that I've got some green in, I'm going to go back and put some brown at the edge. That's where my kind of sand and probably mud on the edge of this river is. And now I'm going to go up here and color the sky. Now, I'm going to leave this because if I color this first, then I'm going to smear it. But this sky, I'm excited about. This is going to be a beautiful sky. And we're going to have some blues in this sky. And in just a second here, we're going to see our dove appear. I can see it. Can you see it? Can you see that dove? The Holy Spirit coming down? And the Holy Spirit descended on him, Jesus, in bodily form, like a dove. And the voice came from heaven, "You are my Son, whom I love. With you I am well pleased." What a great verse from the Bible. It has the Holy Spirit, the voice of God the Father, and Jesus all right there together. Now this was an amazing moment, and I'm going to make this sky amazing. And add some yellow to where the voice of God is coming down. So I kind of feel like it would be a bright, amazing moment. And then I'm going to make maybe some reds in the sky. Make it almost like an amazing sunset or sunrise sky. Maybe a little bit of purples in there. This is a beautiful sky, decorated gloriously for this magnificent event. At least in my mind, we don't really know. We're the artists here, right? So we can make it how we want. All right, and now we're going to get to Jesus and John. Give them some brown hair and some skin. Oh, and a brown beard here. Make his hair a little darker, so it matches his beard. And then I'll make his cloak yellow today. I'll have a yellow cloak on. Now John, I'm going to give him some darker hair. Because, again, he's in the wilderness. We don't know how often he got to shampoo his hair here. I'm going to make it dark. He also might have just had really dark hair. The Bible doesn't tell us. And then we'll give him some skin. And we'll give him a camel hair cloak. I imagine that would have been maybe kind of a brownish orangish color. A little yellow in there. We're going to mix some colors. And then, of course, we've got our water. And I'm going to make that water a deep, rich blue. Now, the river that Jesus was baptized in probably wasn't a deep, rich blue. It probably was a little bit muddy, probably a little bit dirty. These waters were maybe not the fresh, sparkling blue waters of my picture. But again, I'm drawing them the way I'm imagining them. And we don't know for sure. Oh, here we go. I wonder how your painting is looking, or your crayon coloring. Did your dove appear the way mine did? I hope so. What a neat thing for anyone on the bank of the river that day getting to watch as Jesus was baptized and the heavens burst apart. The holy dove descended in bodily form and the voice came from heaven. Imagine hearing the voice of God saying, "You are my son whom I love. With you I am well pleased." What an amazing event to witness. And now we've made our own picture of it. I hope that you will share your picture with someone and share the amazing thing that happened that day. I've had fun crafting along with you. I hope you've had fun as well. Have a blessed week, and I hope to see you again soon.